Hello everyone, and welcome back to Higurashi, Onikakushi-hen. Um, it's been a while since I made one of these. I'm gonna be good with trying to attempt at voice acting the characters for this one because it's been so long. I just want to apologize for that first of all. Secondly, I also want to mention the other thing I'm doing on this channel, which is Final Fantasy 9. I have all of this 2 sorted out by this point. I just need to commentate over them, so expect those very shortly as well. Sorry for the wait on that if you were waiting for that. And at the time, sorry for the wait for this as well. I am excited. Yeah. This time we're gonna get into like some super like spooky stuff. Yeah, I was mostly playing I was mostly streaming. That's most of the reason why I haven't recorded in a while. But yeah, anyway, let's continue. Sleepy. Well, that was a really big yawn, Keiichi-kun. I'm usually awake once it's time to eat, but doesn't look like I can do it today. I was watching TV until late last night, so I'm so tired right now. Was one of those raunchy TV shows you loved so much on last night? How extremely vile. Don't jump to conclusions. It's perfectly normal for boys. Nothing to be ashamed about. Rika not patting my head only made me feel worse. Could you just let me pass out this lunch break? No, seriously. Why, you think I would just sit here and allow that? I get really angry if you disturb me. Really angry. This was just dreadful. Just so sleepy. I slipped my head onto the desk and drifted off into an afternoon nap. It seemed that Satoko had responded, but I pretended not to hear. Cut it out, Satoko-chan. Keiichi-kun fell asleep. His sleeping face, so cute. Oh, that's Rena, sorry. So cute. You can take him home later. Let him be for now. Let's move over there. We read if Keiichi... to Keiichi if we bothered him now. Rika-chan really is a good girl. Not wake him up even if the teacher comes back. I take that back. The excuse that I didn't sleep much last night because I was watching TV was a lie. I was in bed at the usual time, but because of the conversation with Oishi-san that afternoon, I didn't get much sleep. Just spending the day like this, it's almost as if the incident with Tomitake-san didn't happen at all. Made me think, was Oishi-san just trying to deceive me? But it was probably the truth. One thing was certain. Couldn't speak to anyone about it. He wanted my assistance, but I really didn't know anything about it. I knew I wasn't going to be of any help. Probably wouldn't have listened in the first place. It ended up with me, again, forgetting learning something I didn't need to know. If I had never learned about it, I would, without a doubt, be goofing off with the rest of them right now. Couldn't help but resent Oishi-san for this. Huh? When was that? I heard he wasn't there the next day. Appears he vanished the night of the Watanagashi. Mion whispered to keep others from listening, but I could hear it clearly. On the other hand, Rena's voice was even harder to pick up. But I could still tell she was quite upset. Couldn't be. Are they talking about Tomitake-san? Take? Not sure. That's all I know. I'd have to feign ignorance about this topic because I needed to keep it a secret. Rather than waking up and being forced to lie to join the conversation, it was much easier to just sit here and pretend I was asleep to listen in on the discussion. Wait, why did I have to pretend to be asleep while eavesdropping on my friend's conversation? The guilt stung. So, me, there are others, right? Too? They don't know if it's from the curse or if this was an Onikakushi. Onikakushi? Onikakushi? To be hidden away by a demon. What a mysterious phrase. I did, however, get the feeling it meant nothing good. There was another, right? Right? If it's Oyashiro-sama, yeah. But this year, that's all. Grandma and the mayor had to talk about it. Seems they talked to the police about it beforehand. They said they'd take care of whatever happens this year without causing a commotion. Then, without us knowing it, someone had let them. You mean maybe next could be me, I wonder. Don't worry, you got home safely. But it's not allowed, right? That was a long time ago. Let's stop talking about this. Amidst the uncomfortable mood, both of them went silent. The entirety of the conversation was still a bit unclear, but a few parts caught my attention. First of all, the term Onikakushi, to be demoned away. By the context it was used in, I would guess it's similar to being spirited away. I suspected that I'm so sorry. I suspected that was what it meant because Tomitake-san and that woman, really bugged me that I don't know her name, vanished after Watanagashi. The next thing that stuck out was when Rena said, "There's another one, right?" If Mion also said, "If it's Oyashiro-sama's, yeah," responding to something. If it's Oyashiro-sama's curse, then there had to be 2 victims. Is that what she meant? Come to think of it, I remember Mion saying at the beginning that they didn't know if it was from the curse, or if it was a case of Onikakushi. It seemed that the curse and being demoned away are different things, and they were phenomena that were paired together. If I called Tomitake-san's terrible end, that wasn't something as elegant as disappearing. That horrendous end would best be described as cursed. Then, that woman with him, it means she vanished because she was deemed away? What I do know is that there's normally an even number of victims of the curse proper, and the last point that bothered me was Rena. Rena was frightened. For what reason, I didn't know. However, she knew something that made her a potential target for Oyashiro-sama's curse. If I recall correctly, Oyashiro-sama should be the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. Isn't a guardian deity supposed to defend the citizens and drive out invaders? If I recall correctly, yesterday Oishi-san said that originally the targets were enemies of the village, but recently there was no longer any distinction between them or regular outsiders. If that was the case, then I would think that I'd be the more likely target, having moved here more recently than Rena. From her composure, I can infer that she was grimly certain that she would be next. I should probably relay what I heard just now to Oishi-san, informing the police of what I heard by eavesdropping on my friends while pretending to be asleep. It made me feel terrible. It raised a few questions and left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Would it be better not to seek the answers to those questions? As I continued to learn more and more, I felt like I had fallen past the point of no return. I would definitely regret this one day. I would definitely regret ever having learned of these events. The teacher approaches. Keiichi-san, you must awaken. In the distance, I could hear the ring of the handbell signaling the start of the afternoon classes. Yeah, I couldn't sleep at all. I hastily opened my eyes and raised my head up. It was in that moment when I leaned against the back of my seat. Oh! There was a thumbtack stuck on the back of my chair with tape. Circumstantial evidence was enough. Satoko! Guilty without trial. Capital punishment. I furiously jumped up from my seat and tripped as if my feet were tangled up. My shoelaces had been tied together. Not bad, Satoko. While I was sleeping, you were able to conceal your presence to pull off this fine piece of work. The teacher came in right as I was about to pull off my shoes and tackle Satoko. Ho ho ho! Did you not notice that our teacher has arrived, Keiichi-san? Take your seat. Clomp, clomp, whiff, biff. Not caring one bit, I made her eat a flick to the forehead. Wah! Keiichi-san is being mean. Hey, don't pick on the younger kids, Maiburo-kun. Apologize to her. Saw Satoko stick out her tongue at me, that little brat. Come on, Maiburo-kun. Yeah, I'll apologize. Sorry, Satoko-san. In any case, I apologized even if it was in a completely insincere tone of voice. Damn her. I'll remember this. Kei-chan, get your revenge at the club meeting. Take your seat. She sat down after Mion told me to. She'd switched to class representative mode. With the boring classes finished, school was finally over for the day. Now then, what should we do for our club today? Personally, I would like to play that deduction game one more time. I was hardly able to play last time because of Oishi-san. Rena and I weren't even able to test out our strategy. That's right, today Keiichi-kun and I will be victorious. What should we do? We never played the same game 2 days in a row before. Why not try asking me? Mion looked over her shoulder as we made eye contact. She slowly tapped her palm with her fist as her face suddenly lit up. Oops, I completely forgot. I need to go help my uncle today. Sorry guys, not today. Helping your uncle? I need a little goody two-shoes. Sorry, really. I really did forget. Well then, sorry guys. This old man is heading back home now. Mion left us with that and rushed off to the exit after snatching up her bag. You see, Mi-chan, she sometimes goes to help out at her uncle's shop in town. Ah, I thought she wasn't the type to get caught up in such bothersome stuff. You said that she gets paid for it. It's quite a bit of spending money from what I hear. I see. She was able to pay for that mountain of games with what she saved up from there. That... Wouldn't you call that a part-time job? Isn't that against school policy? There's a clause that states family businesses are excluded. Is that what she's calling it? So what now? Pass on the club today? So, we're done today, I guess. Won't it be fine even without the club president? Let's do this. I opened up the club locker and began searching for the deduction game from the ever-growing pile of games. Ah, here it is. The deduction game from yesterday. Man, I had to stop just as I was getting the hang of it. At the very least, I wanted to repay Satoko for what she did during the afternoon break. I do not mind. Well, is that fine for Rena-san and Rika? If Keiichi-kun wants to so badly, I wouldn't mind playing for a bit. I think it's better if we do it when we have everyone together. When she says it like that, Just go shopping if there wasn't a club meeting today. Going to buy soy sauce and other things. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. Well, I guess it's been a while. I should go treasure hunting. What's this now? Everyone was no longer in the mood for club activities? I kept on trying to push the matter. It may make them realize I had a trick up my sleeve. Ah well, I'll give up this time. Man, I was really looking forward to playing it. I shuffled through the cards as if I was still caught up on it. The next opportunity, I'll give you a sound thrashing. Oh ho ho! The murderer is Satoko. The murder weapon is the pistol. It was you after all. What did you say? Then I'll just... Satoko looked through the cards on the desk and stuck out 3 of them at me. The murderer is Keiichi. In the lounge with the rope. I don't need no rope. I'll just strangle you like this. No! Keiichi-san is such a beast. Phew. Well, I guess it's good that I got that out of my system. Wah! I'll remember this, Keiichi-san. She was used as a plaything for quite a while. You poor thing. Haha, cute, cute. Everyone got ready to go back home. I also helped gather up the scattered cards. Suddenly paused. They were just the suspect cards, but I noticed something strange. Rena, Satoko, Rika, Keiichi, Mion. Satoshi. Satoshi? Not all the cards were made by us. Or at least every card besides this one has the name of a club member. Does this mean that this Satoshi fellow is a member? Was there someone in class named Satoshi? I couldn't find anyone named Satoshi on the class roster stuck up on the wall. Keiichi-kun, let's hurry and finish cleaning up. Being rushed by Rena, I finished up quickly. Satoko and Rika-chan had already headed merrily for their lockers, so we were the only ones left in the classroom. Right now, Rena had already gotten her bag and was ready to leave. Rena, there must be quite a few people who transfer from this school, right? I tried asking Rena in a bit of a roundabout way. Rena made a troubled face and then answered. Yeah, Inamizawa is in a rural town, right? Some people transfer out every now and then. Then, is Satoshi another one of those transferees? Sorry, I don't really know. A bit of a pause, but the answer was pretty much immediate. I'm not saying it to be mean. Just last year, I transferred in, so maybe I just missed him. Sorry, I didn't hear much about him. Sorry. I'm not sure. Sorry. Her answer was a lot like when she refused to tell me about the murder at the dam. I was saddened by her denial and felt a little bit of anger. I'm their friend, aren't I? Friends don't keep secrets from their friends, do they? Though, I do appreciate that they kept that unsettling curse thing from me. But everyone's worried about it. I'd rather be worried with them. That's that's what it means to be friends, right? For a moment, I wondered just what kind of face I was making just then, with these mixed feelings of sadness and annoyance. Keiichi-kun, you're making a scary face. Why is it? Why? It was probably exactly the kind of face Rena said it was. It appeared my grim expression had frightened her. Sorry. I was really looking forward to the club today. I'm just feeling a bit down about it. I rustled Rena's hair. Let's go home. Dragging that awkward mood with us, we headed home. Wonder why. Why have I been getting this dumb feeling lately? I don't know anything. I had nothing to worry about. I was just enjoying my everyday life. My long outstretched shadow gave no answer to my naive inquiry. Keiichi-kun, are you tired maybe? Maybe? Rena immediately questioned the reason behind my mood. I'm sure my expression made the situation even more unsettling. Think so? Yeah. You seem to have you seem to have a little you seem to have been a little out of it ever since this morning. Maybe a cold? Physically, I was pretty sure I was in the perfect health. It may not seem like it, but I've had a perfect attendance since elementary school. Rena continued on since I didn't give her an answer. It could be that the fatigue from moving has finally caught up to you. It's completely different from where you used to live, after all. Of course you've gotten tired, since there's so much you need to get used to and remember. Maybe that's it. Yeah, it has to be. I was also like that at first too. I can tell, you know? Wonder if Frenna also experienced the slight bit of alienation last year that I was feeling right now. Thinking so, I felt that she was the only one who could understand how I felt. I'd like to hear about how when you first came to Hinamizawa. How was it? Feeling I had been drawn into the conversation, her face suddenly brightened. It was the same as Keiichi-kun. Didn't know the villagers' names at all. Michan and the rest were all very kind, so I wasn't lonely, but I did still feel feel a little out of place. Rena told me all the details of when she had moved here. All of her first acquaintances and surprises, worries and good times. So, Satoko got you too? Yeah, there was a thumbtack put on my chair. Poke. Then, with that, yeah, that really takes me back. When were you invited to the club? The first day? Nah, it wasn't a club at the beginning. It was formed partway through. One day, she said we should stay after and hold a big game tournament. Come to think of it, Mion did say she was the first club president. Now I get it. This is a secret, but Mi-chan used to be really bad at the beginning. She'd never win. Huh? Mion? Really? I can't even imagine that. You had to do the most of the penalties that she came up with. Seriously, don't tell. Can't believe Mion was like that. So, she gradually transformed into a monster who used any means necessary to win during that time. Mion is at her best when she's fighting dirty. I began making more friends besides Mi-chan after that, but yeah. Might have only been since you moved here that I had finally felt like I had gotten used to it here. Guess Rena had also been left in the dark about Oyashi's summer when she had just moved here. Guess when they finally told me about Oyashiro-sama, I'd be considered one of them. I wonder when I'll finally be considered one of them. Huh? Did you say something? No, sorry, just talking to myself. Keiichi-kun, you're silly. Anna was poking fun and laughing at me, and I couldn't help but laugh as well. But I suddenly stopped. Then, after making up my mind, I spoke. Hey, Rena, is there something that everybody is keeping from me? Huh? No, not at all. You're lying, aren't you? Rena suddenly stopped. Her expression was cold and intense. What do you mean by that, Keiichi-kun? The tone was still the same cheery and light-hearted one as before. You are, aren't you? Keeping something from me? After understanding what I meant, her expression grew even more intense. Seeing that face, I regretted saying something so rash. But she came back at me in a way I didn't expect. Well then, Keiichi-kun, aren't you keeping something from us? Huh? Her tone didn't change, but it was the first time I'd seen this expression from Rena. With her gaze piercing, with how her gaze pierced through me, I couldn't believe this was the same Rena. Aren't you? Lies are secrets, aren't you? You are. Secrets. You didn't actually say that part, but she looked as if she did. The incident with Tomitake-san, and how I felt alienated from the group. Even without having to think about it, there were things I knew that I felt guilty about. But I didn't tell everyone about what happened with Tomitake-san to be considerate. I was keeping it a secret just the same way as they didn't tell me about Oyashiro-sama. Then, aren't we even? No, I'm not. No lies. Nor secrets. Liar? The answer was instant and it shook me. Rena stared as if burrowing through me, watching me like a hawk. Why would you say I'm lying? Didn't you say you were called to the teacher's room yesterday during the club meeting, Keiichi-kun? I know. You didn't go to the teacher's room. I swallowed hard. Clearly wasn't a bluff. She knew what happened. Teacher said you had a guest, didn't she? But you didn't talk at the entrance. You talked inside of the car near the school gate. With some man we don't know. Rena knew everything. She knew that I was called out by Oishi-san, and that I heard about the incident with Tomitake-san as well. Did she know all of it? Exactly who was that man? I don't know him. Why did someone you don't know have business with you? I want to know that myself. Then what did you talk about? It has nothing to do with you guys. It was a lie. Lies! Rena's scream echoed through the trees, sending frightened birds into the air. And exhaled the deep breath I had just taken. No, it was like I wasn't allowed to exhale. It was here I first realized. The person in front of me, she wasn't Rena Ryugu. Then, who was it that was standing before me now? Who had assumed Rena Ryugu's appearance? I'd held my breath for so long I could feel myself suffocating. Right? And then she made a facial expression that Rena normally might have made. Didn't matter if it was Rena's usual smile, it chilled me to the bone. She drew closer to me. Felt her breath against my face. It wasn't the least bit exciting. Whoever this was with Rena's face was going to chew my nose right off. I cowered as I imagined that. Then she smirked as if she was able to see right through me. We also have secrets, just like how Keiichi-kun has secrets. It was Rena's usual smile, but her eyes were still like that of a hawk's. Bringing her face close enough to mine to almost bump into my nose, she kindly persuaded me. I couldn't nod or shake my head. This person standing in front of me, this person who looked like Rena, frightened me to my core. I was terrified knowing that she could hear the sound of me swallowing nervously. After what felt like an eternity, after a long empty silence, she finally spoke. Let's go. It's getting chilly. It was Rena again. Smiling at me once more, she started walking as if nothing at all had happened. When I was released from her gaze, my legs gave out under me and I slumped onto the ground. I wasn't able to lift a finger until Rena was out of sight. Who was that? I felt cold. My body was drenched in sweat. Finally, I was finally able to form a coherent thought and asked myself once again, who was that person? I didn't get to read that last line. We'll go back and read it again after we're done with this, eye catch. I've got, bad posture right now. My arm really hurts. I'm gonna keep going. Who was that person who looked like Rena Rigu? Okay. Back to reading. That moment where she, screams lies is, so creepy. That's, one of my favorite parts of this first chapter. This is, such a good moment. It's completely, unexpected, at that point. But yeah, I really like that, and I hope I did a good enough scream of that. I was out of it and couldn't bring myself to do anything until dinner except stare blankly into space. Was I terrified from Rena going off on me? No, that's not right. That was someone else who only looked like Rena. Then, who could it have been? It was a dreadful feeling, knowing that that was someone else, not Rena. So tomorrow, I shouldn't have a problem talking to Rena like I usually do. That thought was strangely comforting. I concluded that I should just calm down and clear my head, though those thoughts continued swirling around in my mind. Finally, I returned to my senses as I had heard my mother calling out to me from the bottom of the stairs. Keiichi, it's a call from the bookstore. Bookstore? I don't think of why they'd be calling me. I went downstairs and picked up the receiver anyway. My apologies for calling so late at night. It's me, Oishi, of the Okinomiya bookshop. Oishi-san? Oh, it's Oishi-san. Sorry. Since your parents picked up, I said I was from the bookstore. It puts people off when I say I'm a police officer. Oishi-san was, in his own way, rather courteous. Even so, I didn't want my parents hearing me talk to the police. I brought the cordless phone with me and as I dashed back up to my room on the second floor. Sorry for calling so late. That phone number on the piece of paper I gave you yesterday was the old number. My apologies. Can you copy down the number I'm about to give you? Yeah. Okay. He gave me the number of his direct line as I wrote it down. I thought that was the end of it, but he began making pointless small talk. It was pretty hard to hang up. So how has it been, Maiburo-san? Did anything strange happen recently? I see. This was the real reason. He really beat around the bush there. His adult conversational skills left me slack-jawed. Are you from around here, Oishi-san? Yeah, I am. Born and raised in Okinomiya. If he's from around here, he might know. Oishi-san, do you know what this Onikakushi thing is about? I believe that's when somebody suddenly vanishes because they've been abducted by a demon. It's a special saying from around here. It has the same meaning as spirited away, like everyone else says. As my friends would say they don't know when I asked, this older man gave me a direct answer. Made me a bit happy that he answered me directly without trying to hide anything. Hinamizawa was, not sure if I should tell you this, Maibura-san. Don't try to play this off. If you're not going to talk, then I'm not going to tell you anything. No. That's not what I meant. It's just, it may make you feel bad. You see, long ago, Hinamizawa was feared as the village where demons reside. Demons? By demons, you mean those pitchfork-carrying things in hell? More like human-eating monsters. They'd go down to villages, snatching people up and gobbling them down. That kind of tale. Demons snatching up people is what this Onikakushi really means. So that the curse and being demoned away happen together. What does that mean? I already knew about the mysterious deaths happening 5 years in a row. I didn't know there were people disappearing from those same 5 years. The curse and being demoned away happen together? First time I've heard of that. Is that how it is, Maibura-san? That's what I want to know. I heard Reno and Mion talking. They said that if it was really Oyashiro-sama's curse, then both the curse and demoning away would happen. Oishi-san began hemming and hawing on the other end of the receiver. Maybe something about that came to mind? Maibura-san, do you know the first incident? The murder by a dismemberment. Yeah, one of the 6 perpetrators is still on the run, right? Hypothetically, what if he isn't on the run, but was demoned away? Huh? It was an outrageous hypothesis from Oishi-san. The incident 4 years ago was particularly ghastly one. The police already knew the perpetrators, so they posted tons of wanted posters with his face on them. They staked out various locations and investigated every possible escape route he had. But after 4 years, there wasn't even a hint of where he might be. Unless the police were completely incompetent. Even if that was an outrageous hypothesis, I couldn't simply laugh it off. Then what about the incident next year? When a man who supported the project and his wife both died in an accident? Well, actually, it was only the husband who died in an accident. His wife's body never surfaced. Unless we find the body, then it's considered a missing person by law. At the time of the incident, with the river below the cliff being muddy rapids, the police divers had searched every branch off the main stream of the river for dozens of miles, but in the end, they weren't able to find her body. But that's just them not being able to find the body. She's still dead, right? Isn't it different from her being demoned away? You cannot say someone is dead without their body. Until a certain number of years pass, by law she's treated as still alive. I'm not sure if it was right to call that being demoned away. The wife is missing. At least that part was reality. How about the 3rd year? The Shinto priest died of illness, and his wife committed suicide? Maibura-san, that's actually the exact same scenario. The wife had supposedly the wife had supposedly thrown herself into the bottomless swamp deep in the forest around Hinamizawa, meaning it's all circumstantial evidence. They simply found her suicide note in front of the swamp. A diver was able to recover a few of her articles, but they weren't able to find a body. The investigative headquarters believed that she had faked her death and was still alive somewhere. I'm not sure if we could refer these cases as being demoned away. Just as you said, every year one person does go missing. The incident this year, the woman Tomitaki-san has gone missing. The woman with Tomitaki-san has gone missing. And what about the incident with the housewife beaten to death? He went missing. I believe the perpetrator was caught, right? Yeah, we arrested him. He was just a miscreant with a record of narcotics abuse. He admitted to the crime while being questioned about a different incident. But, well, you see, after he was arrested, a child from the victim's home went missing. Still under investigation as to whether the disappearance had anything to do with the crime. But you said you caught him, right? Did he have an accomplice? No idea. It was most likely only the one perpetrator. Moreover, we can't even check now, because while under investigation, that man died in his holding cell. He swallowed a spork and choked to death. It's not known whether it was an accident or suicide. Meaning, for the last 5 years there's always one person who dies and one who goes missing? That's about right. No, actually, I'm surprised as well. I never realized they had that in common. I couldn't believe that this could help lead to the closing of those incidents. It was just something they had in common. Could it be that those deemed away had something in common? Oishi-san mumbled as he seemed to be thinking about it. So I summarized the events. First year was the dam employee. Second year was the wife of the dam project supporter. Third year was the wife of the Shinto priest. Fourth year was the victim's family's child. And the fifth year was the victim's girlfriend, I guess. It doesn't seem like there was anything that connects them. With the exception of the first year, wives and girlfriends, those do stand out. It does seem like there are a lot. And that means the fourth year's victim's child was different. It would have really stood out if it were all married couples. Except it's not just married couples, but parents and children as well. Come to think of it, I believe Tomitaki-san also told me the younger brother is still alive and has moved, if I recall correctly. The child that went missing in the fourth year, who were they? Apparently he was quite mature, 1 year older than you. His name was Satoshi Hojo-san. Huh? Satoshi? I remembered that name. Didn't he tell me Satoshi transferred out last year? He was at your school up until last year. Didn't they tell you anything about him? Come to think of it, when I transferred in, I believe they said my seat belonged to a recent transfer student? Then, where I sat once belonged to the one who was deemed away. It was his seat? I recalled the cold sensation that came from that desk. It made my hair stand on end. String of mysterious deaths. No, Oyashiro-sama's curse. I now knew how it connected to me. A chilling sensation. It was the feeling of Oyashiro-sama caressing the back of my neck. Oyashiro-sama's curse, huh? Did Oyashiro-sama's curse really exist? In all honesty, I was beginning to believe it. And I was scared that that was why I wanted to say it was a plot crafted by a man and not the work of a curse. But the more I dug into it, the less likely that seemed. No, the more I dug, the more mysterious it became. I kept digging. Eventually, I'd reached the point where I'd learned something I really shouldn't know. To either be none the wiser or to seek an answer I may regret. Which one would I be happier with? Maybe it'll be me next time. My execution could only be delayed for 1 year. That was when I remembered. Rena. Rena said that she may be the next victim of the curse. You mean Rena Ryugu-san? She transferred in last year and she's your classmate, isn't she? These incidents really might be a bit too disturbing for a girl. She's not just scared, is she? It wasn't that. She said it might be her next. She said it in a way that made me think she had a concrete reason behind it. It felt like she was convinced. Almost as if, you could say she was frightened. A sudden change in demeanor. That someone who looked like Rena, but wasn't Rena. That might be unrelated. All the strange things I felt from Rena today came back to me. See. I'll be doing a bit of investigating on this end. Please do continue your observations of Ryugu-san, Maibura-san. Are you asking me to keep Rena under surveillance? That's not what I mean, Maibura-san. I just want you to watch out for your friend so she doesn't end up the next victim. At that moment, just as my mouth was agape because I was so impressed with his mature, clever way with words. Knock knock. A sudden knock at the door sent my heart racing. In an instant, I had pointlessly covered up the end of the receiver. Keiichi, get the door, please. On the other side of the door, I heard my father's oddly upbeat voice. What could it be? So late. Sorry, my dad just came in. Can we leave this for tonight? Leave it at this for tonight? Yeah. My apologies again for calling so late. If you find out anything else, please let me know. I'll tell you if I make any progress on this end. Well then, have a pleasant evening. Keiichi, hurry and open up. Daddy's got his hands full. What is Dad doing? I had stayed in the same position while on the phone the whole time, so my joints were aching. When I opened the door, I saw my father was standing there with a tray. On that tray, cookies and 2 cups of black tea. A fairly fancy spread for our household. There was even sugar and lemon slices on the side. Everything you could ask for. It was quite a show of hospitality. What's going on, Dad? What's all this for? Come now, don't play around, Keiichi. I'm coming in. Dad was in high spirits and had a smirk on his face, but for my entire life I'd never seen him act this hospitable. What had gone into him? So, what were you talking about? I jumped. It's not something I had to keep from my father, but how could I explain that I was talking to a detective, I'm assuming he was, this late at night? Nothing much. Just a friend. I don't mean the phone. She was here, wasn't she? Rena-chan? She wasn't here. Come now, don't try to keep it from me. She just came over to play. You two were chatting away, so I thought I'd bring you some tea. But it looks like I just missed her. I had no idea what Dad was talking about, but the cold sweat dripped down my back. How long were we talking? Rena-chan went upstairs about half after, so it was close to an hour, I guess? You saw her come up to the 2nd floor? Yeah, I did. I also told her that your room was the door down the hall up the stairs. When I came to my house about an hour ago, Dad met her at the door. He called out to me on the second floor. Probably didn't hear him because I was focused on my conversation with Oishi-san. I didn't reply, but I knew he was in my room. He knew I was in my room, so he had her come inside. Then told her my room was on the second floor. He thanked my dad and went upstairs, and about an hour passed. She passed by my dad just as he was bringing up the tea and left. Came upstairs, and about an hour passed, then passed my dad and returned home. Then, after she came upstairs, and until she left, where was Rena? There's only a short hallway between my room and the stairs. Meaning, Rena had, for about an hour, in the hall. No, she couldn't have been standing in front of my door all that time. The door to my room wasn't particularly thick. You could easily hear everything being said inside. All of the unsettling and unguarded things I spoke to Oishi-san about began rushing through my head. Honey, don't tease him. More importantly, you need to clean up your studio. It's a mess again. Mom yelled up at Dad from downstairs. Dad left the tray with me and went downstairs with a disappointed chortle. I followed my dad out of the room with my eyes. He looked down at the floor around the doorway where Rena might have stood all that time. Just now, as I was talking to Oishi-san, with my back turned, Rena was standing a mere 6 feet away the whole time. All that time, in this dimly lit doorway, what did she see? What did she hear? For what reason? As the steam from the 2 teacups ominously wafted and twisted, the aroma of black tea filled my room. Pretty unsettling. This chapter has like a really good build up of suspense and paranoia. I really love this chapter, and I especially love the answer to this whole thing, which you can figure out by yourself by just reading this chapter, but it will be given to you later on, much later. That this chapter's perfect, the perfect beginning for this story. I think it's seriously probably one of my favorites, but also one of my least favorites as well, because they're all good, so it's kind of difficult to choose really what's your least favorite out of a bunch of really good chapters. Anyway, we have one tip, so let's read that. Note from the police chief. July 1st, 1982. Departments 1 through 12. Ex-Prefectural Police Headquarters. Director General X. To the Chief Constable and all facility managers. Regarding cases situated in the Hinamizawa village, notice. As cases in Shishibone City, Hinamizawa village have been reported by certain sections of mass media. It has drawn global attention, which is causing serious repercussions for the local residents. This has become a very serious situation. To protect the livelihood and prosperity of the residents, the following notice has been issued. 1. Designate the following criminal investigations as classified. Okinomiya Station, 1982 Case Number X. Hinamizawa Village Housewife Murder, dated June X. Okinomiya Station, June 1982 Case Number X. Hinamizawa Village Student Disappearance, dated June XX. 2. Non-disclosure of information. Okinomiya Station, 1979, Case Number X. Hinamizawa Village Site Foreman Murder, dated June X. Shira Station, 1980, Case Number X. Shirakawa Natural Park Falling Instance, dated June X. Okinomiya Station, 1981, Case Number X. Hinamizawa Village Shinto Priest's Wife Disappearance, dated June X. 3. Requesting self-restraint from each organization concerning the release of sensitive information. Please see attached reference materials 1, 2, and 3. Management XX Prefecture Police Headquarters. Internal Line X. Police Affairs Department XX. Interesting. Alright. So, I do hope you enjoyed this, and I'm sorry for taking so long with this one. Yeah, I've just been busy streaming and like getting into first-person shooters, which is something I never thought I would be doing, honestly. And also editing and playing Final Fantasy IX. That's something also I've been doing. But yes, from today, when this uploads, I'll be uploading the rest of this daily, and once I'm done with Chapter 1, I'll continue uploading Final Fantasy IX. And then after that, I'll continue and I'll record Chapter 2 of this in my own time. And that will come out whenever I'm finished with it. It'll come out daily, along with other things, if there are other things going on during that time as well. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for listening to me read this. It's getting very good. I love this chapter so much. Rena's so scary in this chapter, and I really like how the suspense and like paranoia grows as the story progresses. It's just like so good. But yeah, okay. I will see you next time.